Welcome to Aurum Aesthetic, where we celebrate timeless elegance and the beauty of thoughtfully curated spaces. Today we are stepping inside a dreamy English cottage inspired by Keira Knightley's refined sensibility, exploring rooms wrapped in romantic soft neutrals and antique warmth perfect for a cozy winter retreat. From sun-drenched living rooms to charming kitchens filled with vintage treasures, we will discover spaces that feel both elegant and wonderfully lived in. So, grab your favorite cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore together. Picture a winter living room where everything feels wonderfully lived in and timeless. Soft afternoon light pours through old windows, landing on cream throws and faded rose cushions that practically beg you to sink right in. There's a fire crackling away in the stone hearth, casting that gorgeous amber glow across Persian rugs that have seen decades of footsteps. Vintage brass candlesticks sit on the oak coffee table, while leather-bound books stack beside a wingback chair. It is the kind of space that wraps you in warmth. Imagine curling up in this dreamy window nook on a chilly afternoon. The settee is upholstered in the softest dove gray velvet, piled with hand-stitched pillows in blush and cream that make you want to grab a novel and settle in for hours. Antique lace panels filter the winter light beautifully, creating this ethereal glow across aged floorboards and a faded floral rug. Framed botanicals and a small oil landscape add character to the chalk-white walls. Everything whispers quiet luxury and gentle comfort in equal measure. Step into this farmhouse kitchen where every surface tells a story. Open shelving displays mismatched antique china in cream and blush patterns, the kind you might have inherited from your grandmother. Copper pots dangle above a cream aga range, catching the light just so, while a distressed wooden island sits center stage on terracotta tiles worn smooth by generations of footsteps. Fresh winter greenery rests in a ceramic bowl, gingham curtains frame the windows and dried herbs hang from exposed beams. It is rustic perfection with serious charm. This formal dining room captures that effortlessly elegant English countryside vibe. A long oak table surrounded by mismatched Windsor chairs sets the scene for memorable gatherings, already dressed with vintage silverware and delicate bone china on an embroidered linen runner. Winter berries and eucalyptus arrangements in tarnished silver vases bring nature indoors, while a crystal chandelier casts the loveliest warm glow. Botanical wallpaper in cream and sage wraps the walls, complementing heavy velvet drapes in dusty mauve. It feels both grand and inviting at once. There is something magical about a sunlit conservatory in winter. This one features wicker armchairs with faded floral cushions arranged for afternoon tea, surrounded by terracotta pots holding winter jasmine and trailing ivy. Wide glass panes frame views of the frost-dusted garden beyond, while aged brick flooring and braided wool rugs keep things cozy underfoot. Whitewashed shelving displays antique gardening books and ceramic planters and forced bulbs in moss-filled urns. Promise spring is coming. The pale winter light makes everything feel peaceful and serene. A bedroom that feels like a hug. The brass bed is dressed in layers upon layers of ivory mateless and faded rose damask quilts with down pillows and embroidered linen cases piled high for ultimate comfort. Porcelain lamps with pleated silk shades sit on turned walnut nightstands, casting the gentlest glow. Delicate sprig pattern wallpaper in pale pink and cream adds romance above painted wainscoting, while a needlepoint rug warms wide plank floors. An antique armoire with mirrored doors and a tufted bench complete this dreamy retreat. Here is a study corner for anyone who loves the feel of old books and quiet afternoons. An aged mahogany partner's desk sits before leaded glass windows, its surface beautifully arranged with leather accessories, vintage fountain pens, and stacks of correspondence tied with twine. Floor-to-ceiling bookshelves hold leather-bound volumes that have been collected over years, while a small fireplace adds warmth. An oriental rug in muted burgundy and cream anchors the space beneath. A hanging brass lantern. Everything here encourages thoughtful contemplation and slow, intentional moments. This cottage parlor is what cozy dreams are made of. A rolled-arm sofa in natural linen faces a brick hearth where logs crackle beneath a carved wooden mantel displaying pewter candlesticks and transferware plates. Mismatched armchairs upholstered in faded chintz and velvet invite lingering conversations, while needlepoint rugs in rows and taupe layer across aged floorboards. Heavy damask drapes pool elegantly at the floor, and botanical watercolors cluster above a nair. Console holding ceramic urns. It is classic English cottage charm at its absolute finest. Breakfast in this sunny nook would be such a treat. A painted pine table surrounded by ladderback chairs with rush seats and faded gingham cushions sits beneath a casement window framed by delicate floral café curtains. Ironstone dishes and vintage linen napkins in soft ivory are already set, ready for morning tea and toast. Tongue and groove paneling painted warm white creates a clean backdrop for open shelving displaying antique teacups and creamware. A Welsh dresser holds copper molds and ceramic pitchers, completing this cheerful, welcoming space. Settle into the sitting room and you will never want to leave. A skirted sofa in faded rose linen is piled with embroidered cushions and a crocheted throw, paired with a trunk-turned coffee table bearing vintage books and dried lavender in a porcelain bowl. Subtle damask wallpaper in cream and pale gold wraps the walls, while an ornate gilt mirror hangs above a marble fireplace. Mismatched occasional chairs in needlepoint and velvet scatter about, rugs overlap in muted. Florals and antique sconces cast warm pools of light throughout. Book lovers will adore this library corner. Built-in bookcases painted in soft ivory flank a cushioned window seat dressed in vintage ticking stripe fabric with linen pillows, perfect for losing yourself in a good novel for hours. Walls above the shelving feature faded toile depicting pastoral scenes in taupe and cream, while worn leather volumes are arranged alongside ceramic bookends and brass magnifying glasses. An oriental runner in muted rose and sage warms the floor. And leaded windows reveal winter garden views beyond sheer voile panels filtering gentle afternoon light. This romantic bedroom alcove looks like something from a period drama. A canopy bed draped in flowing muslin tied back with vintage ribbon is dressed in layered linens of ivory and blush with a silk eiderdown on top. It sits on wide oak floorboards scattered with a faded Aubusson rug and soft florals, flanked by marble-topped bedside tables holding porcelain lamps and silver-framed pressed flowers. An antique cheval mirror stands in one corner beside a painted chair draped with an embroidered shawl, pure timeless elegance. Imagine spending a cozy evening in this snug den. A deep sofa upholstered in moleskin velvet and warm taupe is piled with down cushions and a cashmere throw, positioned perfectly before a stone fireplace with a rustic wooden mantel. Antique brass scales and ceramic vessels decorate the mantel, while framed hunting prints and botanical studies hang from a picture rail. Wingback chairs in worn leather flank the hearth, a Kaleem rug in faded rust and cream anchors everything, and Table lamps cast intimate pools of amber light. This dressing room is every bit as charming as you would hope. An antique wardrobe in distressed cream paint with mirrored panels stands proudly, accompanied by a tufted ottoman in faded rose velvet positioned before a vanity table draped in vintage lace. Silver hairbrush sets, porcelain trinket boxes, and a beveled hand mirror are beautifully arranged on top. Delicate striped wallpaper in blush and ivory wraps the walls, while a needlepoint rug warms wide plank floors. Painted chest displays ceramic hat stands and folded linens tied with satin ribbon. Mornings feel especially lovely in this peaceful room. A pair of slip-covered armchairs in natural linen are arranged around a painted side table bearing a porcelain tea service and a crystal vase of dried hydrangeas. Sprig pattern wallpaper in pale sage and cream covers the walls, while wide windows are framed by lace curtains and heavier linen drapes tied with vintage ribbon. Aged floorboards are scattered with a braided rug in cream and rose, and a corner hutch displays antique china. A small writing desk holds leather-bound journals and vintage fountain pens. This sewing room radiates gentle creativity and calm. A round worktable draped in vintage floral fabric is surrounded by painted chairs with needlepoint cushions, while open shelving holds wicker baskets filled with wool skeins and embroidery threads in soft neutrals. An antique dress form stands in one corner beside a tall cabinet displaying porcelain buttons and lace trims. Aged pine floorboards are warmed by a faded Kalim rug in rose and cream. Windows are dressed gingham cafe curtains, and a ceramic lamp illuminates collections of vintage sewing notions. Find your favorite book and head straight to this reading alcove. A daybed upholstered in ticking stripe fabric is piled with linen pillows and a quilted coverlet in faded florals, positioned beneath a trio of casement windows draped in sheer voile. Walls painted in warm ivory with exposed oak ceiling beams create an airy feel, while a narrow bookshelf holds leather-bound classics and ceramic bookends. A small side table bears a porcelain lamp and teacup on a saucer. Floorboards are scattered with a worn Persian runner. Music fills this vintage corner with warmth and nostalgia. An upright piano in aged mahogany is positioned against walls covered in faded toile wallpaper depicting countryside scenes in cream and taupe, topped with framed sheet music and a porcelain vase of dried roses. A needlepoint piano bench and carved music stand sit nearby, while wide plank floors are warmed by an oriental rug in soft rose and sage. Heavy damask drapes in dusty mauve frame tall windows and a brass floor lamp with a silk-pleated shade casts ambient light. Step outside to this frost-kissed back garden terrace where winter has its own quiet beauty. Weathered stone pavers are edged with dormant lavender beds and terracotta planters holding winter greenery, overlooked by cottage walls of aged brick softened by climbing rose canes stripped bare for the season. Multi-paned windows dressed in cream linen curtains glow from interior firelight, while a painted wooden bench sits beneath a pergola draped with bare wisteria vines. Vintage. Lanterns hang from wrought iron hooks, creating peaceful English countryside tranquility. Finally, discover this secluded back courtyard where the garden rests for winter. A gravel pathway winds between raised beds edged in weathered brick, dormant yet structured with boxwood topiary and terracotta forcing pots. The cottage rear elevation displays cream-painted window boxes beneath leaded casements, while aged stone walls are covered in bare climbing hydrangea and espalier fruit trees. A potting bench of reclaimed wood holds vintage watering cans and ceramic. Planters and a wrought iron gate leads to further garden rooms beyond, all dusted with frost. We have journeyed through this enchanting English cottage, discovering romantic living spaces filled with antique warmth, cozy reading nooks bathed in winter light, and charming kitchens brimming with vintage character. Each room told a story of timeless elegance and comfort that never goes out of style. If you loved exploring these beautiful spaces as much as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe to Aurum Aesthetic for more inspiring interiors, and share your favorite room in the comments below. Thanks so much for joining us today.